When you embrace Islam, it's like this weight that you have has been lifted.
Like you can breathe for the first time?
Yeah, you just feel like...
The statistics suggest that it's got to be at least 250,000 Latin Muslims in this country.
Wow.
But it's growing. This is the future of America. Houston is a microcosm of the future of America. It's the Browning of America. You know, they say by 2050, white people are not going to be the majority anymore.
The core principle that is so enticing of Islam is that you have a very personal relationship with God without any intermediaries. There is nothing between you and God.
The statistics suggest that the Latino segment of the overall Muslim population is the fastest growing.
They're leaving cultural Catholicism. They don't really understand what they're leaving.
Thank you, my dear.
How large is this movement?
It's got to be at least 250,000.
Wow.
But it's growing.
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best.
With all the racism and the xenophobia happening, where are the Catholic Christian leaders in this country really taking a strong stand on that? A lot of Latinos are saying, maybe Islam is offering something that Christianity doesn't offer.
I'm worried. Absolutely, I'm worried. Islamic culture is extremely different.
Inside America's Islamic community, one of the fastest growing populations is Latino. And the epicenter of that movement is here in Houston, Texas, home to not only one of the largest Latino communities, but also one of America's largest Muslim communities. Just 350 miles away from the Mexican-American border during one of the worst deportation crises in recent history, and less than a year from the Muslim ban.
We gotta go and we gotta knock the shit out of these people.
The founder of America's first Islam and Spanish Center, to find out why two of America's most discriminated groups are actually coming together.
Whenever people come in, we let them know that, look, it's not a traditional mosque. We're the only producers in the world producing material in the Spanish language and distributing it, you know, at the mass level.
People who come through the center, do they come here thinking in the ways that the media has portrayed Muslims?
Most definitely.
Or believing the things that the media has portrayed about Muslims?
Most definite. In fact, that's a default. When people come in here, before coming in here, we know they have preconceived notions. You know, if I didn't know Chinese people, and on the media it says Chinese people kill people who are not Chinese, I wouldn't want a Chinese neighbor.
Right.
You know, it's just common sense. That's the reason why we built this place.
Yeah.
Getting rid of some of these misconceptions. Then they start thinking, you know, why don't I know this stuff? I looked for answers and I looked at so many different religions. And someone who gave me the Quran, I began to read it, and the more I read it, the more life made sense. My mother thought I was brainwashed when I became Muslim because I stopped drinking alcohol, going out, the girls, all the stuff that I had easily, I let go of it. And it was great that I did it at the time I did it, because a few months later, a lot of my friends got caught in some stuff that put them in trouble. And I'm like, man, that choice of me accepting Islam saved me from that. When you embrace Islam, it's like this weight that you have has been lifted.
Oh, you can breathe for the first time?
Yeah, you just feel like,
especially after the election in 2016, where a lot of these people felt purged.
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
A lot of Latinos are recognizing that not being white in this country comes with certain barriers. Latinos might also be thinking, Muslims generally speaking, they face similar obstacles with all the racism and the xenophobia happening from the top of the government. I think a lot of people are seeing Islam and the Islamic tradition in general as being more tolerant of race. People have to recognize, one of the most racially diverse religions in the world is Islam. And the statistics suggest that it's got to be at least 250,000 Latin Muslims in this country.
Wow.
But it's growing. This is the future of America. Houston is a microcosm of the future of America. It's the Browning of America. They say by 2050, white people are not going to be the majority anymore.
The core principle that is so enticing of Islam is that you have a very personal relationship with God without any intermediaries. There is nothing between you and God. Traditional ways of teaching religion has been because I said so, right? Because my father did so. But when you look at Islam, you're encouraged to ask questions in order to leave doubt.
America at its foundation is a land of religious freedom, and it's a country that was built by immigrants. But in today's political climate, Muslims seeking religious acceptance are being discriminated against, just like the immigrants seeking a new home.
Allahu Akbar.
Ironically, this intolerance and oppression has brought these groups together, and from that shared trauma, a supportive and accepting community is growing.